there, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Saturday morning edition of the Mr. Warren Hayes Show. I, of course, am Mr. Warren Hayes of the Mr. Warren Hayes Show featuring Mr. Warren Hayes, but this morning will not be a run-of-the-mill typical Mr. Warren Hayes Show. No! We're going to be talking about Aew Revolution, which is a pay-per-view event that is happening later today. Warren, you're kind of last minute with your predictions. Yeah, fuck you! I don't know. Hey,
I didn't know that we could swear.
I've had coffee. I've had maybe a little too much coffee. You're going to have to bear with me. Bear with us, actually, because no, I'm not alone. If you're watching this live here on youtube.com/MrWarrenHayes, you're like, hey, look at this. Warren giving all this real estate to these two dudes over here. Who are these guys? Well, this is Tim and John. Wait, over here. No, over here. This is Tim and John from the Armbar audio podcast. These guys talk about wrestling and so forth over on youtube.com/Armbar audio. And it is my pleasure to have them with us this morning. Tim, John, how are you guys doing?
We're doing great. We're very excited to be on your show, Warren, and thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, same for me. Very excited to be here. You have consistently been one of our favorite people to interact with on Twitter and such, so it's very cool that you're giving us this opportunity.
Look, hey, okay. Well, I appreciate the kind words, but I mean, we're all here out of love of wrestling.
Yeah.
I think you guys do great work, and I think you're severely underviewed. So, you know, I think it's a good opportunity to just sit here, get to know each other. Well, what I mean, we know each other, but you know what I mean. Everyone getting to know each other and having a good time. That's what talking about wrestling is all about. And you guys talk a lot about AEW. Tell the folks a little bit what you talk about, what you do over on Armbar Radio audio. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm saying radio, because every time I say Armbar audio, I need more coffee. Go right ahead.
Usually, what we do is we do a Wednesday night podcast or a Thursday podcast about NXT and AEW, and we grade them.
Yeah.
We go in depth on the analysis and such. We also cover big New Japan events and big WWE pay-per-views. When we first started, we kind of, sometimes we do indie shows and Joshi shows and even indie Japan shows, but we've kind of strayed away from that and kind of clear cut AEW, NXT, big WWE, and big New Japan.
Well, that's fantastic. Yeah, and you do cover a lot of AEW. You do cover a lot of New Japan. So if you guys are sick of always hearing talk about the E, well, you definitely can check these guys out. They do good work, good, honest work.
Truth be told, we were planning on covering the New Japan Cup and the anniversary show, and they got canceled.
There go our views, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, New Japan. Thank you, Kenora and Iris.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, so, but do go check them out, youtube.com/Armbar Audio, and also on Twitter at Armbar Audio. You guys are very active there as well, and it's my pleasure to have you.
Yeah.
This morning. So we are doing this live on youtube.com/MrWarrenHayes. So that means that we have a live group of people who have decided to join us here on Saturday morning. It boggles my mind every time. Whenever I do stuff, people are here. We have Ben, who's here, Benoit Parise, who's joined us. John from the No Particular Angle podcast. How you doing, John? Armbar Audio's here, of course, yes. RJ Krasinski, how you doing? Joe Cook, Dave, good guy Dave Pozevsky is here. Ryan Lewis, hey, how you doing? Ryan Lewis is here as well. Brian Payne as well. David Reed. I said Ryan Smith already, didn't I? Nicole Silver, how you doing? Shane Richardson, the Nerdy Mark. Aren't we all, though? Aren't we all Nerdy Marks?
That's our boy Sid. Yeah.
JS Brown as well is here. Look, hey, fantastic group of folks. And if you ever want to join me live, well, subscribe to youtube.com/MrWarrenHayes and do all the notification stuff, the bell, you know, all that stuff that all those handsome YouTubers tell you to do every day. You can do that as well. Or if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast app, because I will get this out on your favorite podcast application earlier today before Revolution hits, well, thank you. And hopefully you'll be able to show some love there with either a review, a like, a subscription, whatever it does, whatever it takes. Just do it. Just do some love. Give some love. It's fantastic. You know what else is fantastic? AEW Revolution, by God, guys.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it a little bit just before we get into the actual card itself. I'm going to be straight up and I'm going to just let you guys speak on it. But, Tim, I haven't been excited for a pay-per-view this much in a long time. And yes, I am including Wrestle Kingdom in this. I have not been excited for a show this much for in a long time, Tim. I really haven't.
Yeah, the storytelling from post Christmas leading up to Revolution has been amazing. Every show AEW has done consistently gets better. I think like the week prior, the next week, it's always building and getting better. The story between Moxley and the Inner Circle has been fantastically paced and told. I mean, we got to see Santana out there one-on-one with Moxley. We got to see Jeff Cobb make his debut. The MJF and Cody feud is what puts asses in seats, so to speak. Cody is really doing a great job getting MJF over with a casual audience that might not know him. The Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara feud is logical and it makes sense. I could go on, but maybe John has something to say.
Yeah, hopefully, because otherwise I was just sitting there.
Right. Yeah, man. Ever since, like Tim said, ever since Christmas, every show is better.
Right.
The wait from Wednesday to Wednesday is getting harder and harder to bear. It really is. And AEW Dark is just as freaking good. And everything from being the Elite has been getting better lately. Like, they are taking so much of the fan input and putting it into the show. If you think about the Nightmare Collective, wasn't really getting the response they wanted, so they ended it. Whereas in other places, things that aren't getting the reaction get
shoved down your throat.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just, I feel like AEW is so much for the fans.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can see it. Sorry, I just want to jump in here because I really like what you're saying, because we've seen it over the past couple of weeks where the camera shut off and then they get super fans into the ring and they have, they just have interaction with it. But to me, and of course, there will always be people be like, this is stupid. The guy with the Scooby-Doo suit killing the business. Like, come on. The thing here.
If you got a problem with the guy in the Scooby-Doo outfit and a guy in the Jesus outfit, then what about the guy with the long hair sitting next to the old lady and the guy in the green shirt that's on every WWE show?
The thing here is that all of AEW and the Elite stuff, it all got over because the Elite guys started doing BTE, mostly because they were bored in New Japan, and they were just like shooting each other, doing stupid stuff.
Yeah, needed something to do in between.
Exactly. And then it helped they went to a grassroots level. They went to the basic fan level to just bring them on board. This is how they built the Elite and eventually AEW. So it makes sense strategically. It works perfectly for them. It's straight out of their playbook. We want to keep a close proximity to our fans. And I mean, they're delivering, even though they They have millions of dollars in backing. They have a national TV show. They could do, hey, you know what? We're done with this. That's fine. We're good. But no, the shows are done. They connect with the online super fans. They bring them into the ring to have a little moment.
Right.
It's brilliant strategy. All right. So the first match on the main card that we are going to talk about, and it was just announced on Wednesday on Dynamite itself, Pac versus Orange Cassidy. And I'm laughing because so many people got really, really upset. And it makes me laugh when people get upset about this kind of thing, John. It really does. John.
I think Orange Cassidy is probably second to like Cody or the Bucks, the most overact in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Pac isn't afraid to look like a fool. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
he's not.
He's nothing that Orange Cassidy is going to do in this match is going to hurt Pac's character or his momentum. This is going to be a fun, possibly used as a cool down, but I don't know how much of a cool down it'll be because of how over Pac and Orange Cassidy both are.
Sure.
And, Chuck Taylor said it himself. Orange Cassidy is going to try, so the match is going to be awesome.
Tim, what do you think about this match? I mean, you're obviously having, on one end, you have the wrestling fans wrestler in Pac, who's strong, he's nimble, he's super serious all the time, And on the other end, you have the king of irony wrestling. I mean, it's a clash of personalities. What do you think about it?
I think it's a great dichotomy. There's going to be points in the match that are going to be hilarious, but if Orange Cassidy decides to wrestle, it will be a well-contested match because people who have watched Beyond Wrestling or other indie promotions such as Beyond Wrestling know that Orange Cassidy has it in him to be able to wrestle. His character is just a character, and it's hilarious, and people love it. Yeah. And putting that character against the super serious Pac will garner a lot of attention and love, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I think there's a lot of good to happen here, and I also think it's a really good idea.
Yeah.
To have Orange Cassidy's first match be on pay-per-view because there's, people have been clamoring for it to happen, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And like Cody said on their panel at C2E2 last night, they streamed that live. He said that when they had that moment of Orange Cassidy and Tully Blanchard in the ring together, and Cody said, well, what did you think of that Orange Cassidy kid? And what Tully said to him was, did you hear the pop that kid got? Mm-hmm. That's what matters. Mm-hmm. That's what matters. Tully Blanchard said, did you hear the pop that Orange Cassidy got?
Exactly. But because that's the thing too, is you, and I can understand that he's excuse me. I can understand that he's an acquired taste. Orange Cassidy is, well, Tully Blanchard too, to a degree. But I can understand that, that he might not be someone's cup of tea, but you can't deny the reactions that he's getting. He's one of the top baby faces as far as being over in the company is, and he hasn't wrestled a single match.
Yeah, judging by the crowd, seems to be one of the top merch sellers too.
Yeah, as well. Well, because he does have fantastic merch. Let's be honest.
I want that hand so much.
Yeah, the freshly squeezed.
Yeah,
absolutely. So who have we got here? This is an interesting one. Who wins this match, Tim? Do we think Pac is going to win this one? Is Orange Cassidy winning his first match? What do you think?
I think Pac wins. I don't think Orange Cassidy pulls out all the stops. I think he'll hint at it. And either way, it's not going to hurt Orange Cassidy.
Right.
What do you think, John? You agree?
I'm going to say, yeah, Pac is either going to win or do something to get himself disqualified. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a tendency to agree as well that Pac is going to win. I think he needs to win, actually, because he hasn't been on that big of a winning streak recently, and he's been losing big matches. But like you said, I think that Orange is going to do everything in his power to try and win, and it should be a really good match, because I can just imagine, like, Pac is on top of everything that he does so fantastically, he's an amazing seller. He makes everyone look like $1 million. I'm not saying he's going to sell the weak kicks, the shin kicks.
Well, yeah, because nobody does.
Because that's not the point. Yeah. But once he starts selling the offense, Orange Cassidy is going to they're probably going to build an instant star here, and Pac is going to have a big hand in it.
And I'm thinking another thing that could happen is I'm thinking we could see Orange try to piss off Pac and get him off of his game. And try to pick him a win that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're all in agreement here. Pac is going to win.
Yeah.
Next, AEW Women's World Championship match. Nyla Rose, the champ, defending against Chris Statlander. Now, when we started talking about this on the show, when we started it off, I said, I think there's one match here that doesn't have any oomph to it as opposed to everything else. And I kind of think this is the one right here, John. I think this is the one right here.
Yeah. You're right. And it's unfortunate that they weren't able to build up more of this. It's the only match that they're going with based solely on rankings without really mentioning that. And there's no way that Nyla loses her first defense.
Right?
I wish that it was against somebody other than Chris Statlander, because Chris Statlander will for sure hold that title one day, because she's fantastic. But yeah, having no build to it, it should still be a hot match, but that's not really the point of what we're saying here.
Yeah, no, exactly. Right. Because I think, Tim, we're in agreement that this should be a good match. I think Nyla has surprised me, because I as much as I like the idea of Nyla Rose and of her being a one of these beast final boss type characters, I was never convinced that she was ready to be put in the position they wanted her to be in, being a top heel, being a top representative of the women's division. I think she was a little green, but since coming back from the break, especially over the past couple of weeks, I feel like she's turned everything up. Her promo game is up, her in-ring is up. I think that they've been doing a really good job with Nyla Rose, Tim.
Absolutely. I think that I have a few thoughts here.
Sure.
Number one, I believe this match came together because they had something else planned for Chris Statlander. I think Chris Statlander was going to get a match on Revolution against one of the Nightmare Collective, but the Nightmare Collective dissolved.
Sure.
So we get Nyla Rose and Chris Statlander.
I can get behind that theory, sure.
They had 2 weeks ago, they had Big Swole and Chris Statlander come out to Nyla Rose. Instead of having that four-way this week on AEW, they could have had a number one contenders match between Big Swole and Chris Statlander, giving more of a reason to care about this match. Speaking of Nyla Rose, my issue with Nyla Rose isn't about Nyla Rose, it's about AEW. They were giving Chris Statlander and other people, other females, they were all on the main show, while Nyla Rose and Shanna were doing a great job on AEW Dark in a real feud. Mm-hmm. It should have been on AEW instead of AEW Dark.
That's a good point. Why isn't this Shanna's shot?
Right. The other thing is, this is to touch on fans. I've seen people say that Nyla Rose is sloppy in the ring. I haven't gotten that viewpoint. I think she does the best Samoan drop in the business, including all of the other Samoans, all of these Samoans, to say. And I think it's just a cop out for transphobes. But anyway, getting off my pedestal, Nyla Rose wins. She doesn't lose her first defense.
No, I don't think. I don't see that happening. I really don't. You know what? I've talked about it, and what I would have liked is to. Look, on one hand, I understand why you want your women's title. You want your championships defended on pay-per-view. I can get behind that. I understand that. I really do. So it's it makes sense that they're having a title match. But I think what would have really been good is if they had Swole and Statlander fight for a number one contender spot. And there you go. You have a little bit of story there that you could have built just over the past 2 weeks, because essentially it's within a 2-week period, right? Not this past Wednesday, but the Wednesday before that is when was Nyla Rose coming out with the title, and then Swole and Statlander show up, and they have all this stare down. So I'm like, ooh, if they had just leaned into that instead of giving us the title match, which I feel the ending is telegraphed. It would have just made things a little more interesting, a little more unpredictable. Who are they going with? Are they going with Swole? Excuse me. Are they going with Statlander? But then again, their pay-per-views are like spaced out 3 months between each other. Do you give away your number one contenders match versus Nyla Rose on free TV? Or it's. And I can at least appreciate how difficult it could have been for them to come up with this decision.
Also,
go ahead.
If they're building up Swole and Statlander, right? Swole was in the 4-way match on Wednesday and lost to Hikaru Shida 1. So what is that telling me? That's telling me that maybe Swole isn't being put in that position.
Sure.
It's very confusing.
Yeah, but I think Sheeta is for sure. I really do. Yeah.
Honestly, at this point, if you're burning Statlander so soon, there's a couple of other options, and I think Hikaru Shida is the next most logical because she's so good. Especially if you're not going to do anything with B. Priestley. If you have B. Priestley on your roster and you're not doing anything with her, because she'd be a great option too. Priestley's amazing, but anyway. So I think am I getting here that we're all kind of in agreement that Nyla Rose is winning here? Is that that's the vibe I'm picking up?
Yeah, and Chris Statlander is probably going through a table at some point.
Good, probably, sure. That'll be fine.
That's not thing.
And then you'll have JR say, "Take that, you alien son of a bitch!"
I don't care about your gimmick.
Next match we're going to talk about is Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara. Tim, Darby Allin is early on an AEW success story.
Oh yeah.
He's a big star that they built all by themselves.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I've been watching Darby Allin for a long time, and I'm so glad that he got signed to AEW. And this feud with Sammy Guevara is perfect because Darby Allin reminds me of young Jeff Hardy. In that enigmatic sense. And he has that charisma about him that you can't really place. And Sammy is a perfect heel to that, perfect foil for that. Darby Allin is, he's always been great. And like I said, I'm glad to see him on AEW on a major stage. What I want to see in this match is I want to see a ramp. And I want to see Darby Allin go up that ramp and land a move, land a skateboarding move onto Sammy. That would be hilarious. But that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean this is going to be something special, right? It's going to be really, really good. And again, what's really great here is that these are essentially, especially in the case of Darby Allin, like he was an indie star. You can't take that away from him. But the way they've handled him on AEW, getting him onto national television, I mean the reactions he's getting, it's amazing. They kept him off TV for a couple of weeks because of the throat injury. They just had him do the vignettes where he was setting fire to stuff. Yeah. And then when he does come back, the reaction, everyone goes crazy. It's like, yeah, there he is. I mean, John, it's so simple. It's such simple booking. It's just so basic, and it's working. They're building themselves a good old fashioned babyface, and I am all here for it.
Yeah, and it's genuine.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
it is. And I feel the same way about Darby Allin as I feel about Sammy Guevara, as I feel about guys like Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt. These are guys. I'm so happy that AEW exists to give these guys a national televised platform, because these are guys that would not even get a second glance at other places.
Sure.
At let's say some other more corporate type places.
Let's say.
Yeah. Darby Allin is a guy that skateboards to the ring. That's unique. Something I've never seen before that I can remember.
And the funny thing is, speaking about the genuineness of the character, you said that's the first time you've seen that. The first time I seen that was Mark Andrews in Impact. And he came off like Bart Simpson, and it was stupid and it felt immature. But whenever Darby Allin does it, it feels genuine.
Because he really does that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was his profession before wrestling was his profession.
Yeah.
So it's very cool. And he might already be there. If he's not already there, he's going to be. He's going to be a mega star.
Oh, yeah.
The minute that they bring in a lightweight or middleweight championship or even any secondary title, they might as well hand it to Darby on a silver platter, because that's who's going to get it.
I agree. So who do you have winning here? Do you think Sammy wins? Do you think Darby wins? What do you guys have here?
Darby, unless the inner circle gets involved.
Yeah, you cannot get away tonight without Darby Allin winning this one.
I know.
I think there are going to be Darby
my heart
wins
says Darby.
What's that?
Yeah. My heart says Darby.
Oh yeah, no, honestly, it just they're building a mega star. This is what they have to do at this point. This is what they have to do.
Honestly, they could do it with either one of these guys.
Oh, sure, absolutely. And not to take anything away from Sammy Guevara, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying that. No.
I think the Darby Allin story is just so compelling. It's crazy. And you know, just as an aside, really interesting, as a quick aside, last night, because we were talking about Jungle Boy, last night I was watching the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie from 1992. You know, Luke Perry was in that. Right. It's nuts how much he looks like scary. His dad. It's scary. Like, and we have young Luke Perry here. Like, it's just frightening.
Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
Oh my God! All right, that's a whole other thing.
JR.
Jake Hager is going to be fighting Dustin Rhodes. This one has been simmering for a while, ever since Jake Hager broke Dustin's arm with the car door a few months ago. And it's also going to be Jake Hager's first AEW match as well. So we've got two in-ring debuts here tonight. But John, how do you feel about this match?
I am so excited. We're getting it's our first AEW Haas fight, and I love Haas fights. I'm so excited for this. It's going to be hard-hitting. It's going to be balls to the wall. It's two guys that have genuine heat towards each other. Mm-hmm. You got, and there are similarities. You have the Shattered Dreams versus the knee to the groin. Right. You have the Rhodes uppercut.
Cups, you know?
Yeah, definitely. JR had one of my favorite calls he's ever had where he said, "For the love of God, stay away from the damn Dippin' Dots." I'm like, are they really using continuity with the Dippin' Dots angle? Yes, they are. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping, and I think Dustin takes this one.
I'm gonna tell you, and Tim, I want to get your thoughts on this, and we'll lead in with this. This is not necessarily a match I'm looking for because Jack Swagger never did it for me, and I'm not just talking about the gimmick. I'm talking about in ring. I never connected with me. I don't think he's that charismatic. I don't think he's that good a wrestler. But I'm willing to let myself be surprised. And, I kind of think I have faith in Dustin Rhodes, which is ridiculous to think about in the year of our Lord 2020 to say that, I think that Dustin Rhodes could carry Jake Hager to a good match. What do you think, Tim?
Well, I have to agree with you about the gimmick, but I think Hager was a decent in-ring wrestler.
I want to say he showed a little more prowess during his short stint with Lucha Underground.
Good point. Yeah, okay, I can get behind that. You're right.
I think that I think we're going to see regarding Jake Hager, they turned chicken shit into chicken salad so far.
Mm-hmm.
Did I ever imagine myself popping for Jake Hager, a Jake Hager appearance on a show? No, I never thought I would, but I did. So I'm looking for, like John said, a hoss fight. I think it's going to be a lot of brawling, and I think we're going to see Hager win.
You think Hager's winning this one? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so it's okay. So this would so you think Hager is, and John, you think?
I went with Dustin.
Yeah, I'm going with Dustin too. I think so. Maybe if we were still at a point where Jake Hager was one of the biggest guys in the company, I'd probably say, hey, you know what? Maybe they will, build him into like a super strong kind of guy. But honestly, I don't know here. Not since they signed Wardlow, not since they have Brody Lee on the cusp of coming in.
We have Lance Archer coming in, confirmed.
Archer coming in, and they, now they have Jeff Cobb circling around. I mean, Luchasaurus there. I don't know. I'm not feeling it as much, but despite the fact that I'm not feeling it, I'm still looking forward to watching this match because they did a good job.
But think about it like this: what does Dustin have to gain from winning this match?
True.
If Jake Hager has been put in a position of being Jericho's strongman
muscle, yeah,
right,
yeah.
So he has to show that off tonight, and that's how you keep that position.
Sure,
by going over a veteran that really doesn't have anything to lose. Dustin's, after this match happens, whether he wins or he loses, people are still going to love Dustin. People are still going to love to see him come out and wrestle. So, that's why I'm going with Hager.
Not a bad point. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Here's something that I can get behind. Tag Team Championship for the AEW World Tag Team titles. Yeah. Champions Kenny Omega and Adam Page versus the Young Bucks.
This is going to be heartbreaking.
All right, just go ahead, John. You're already into it. Go ahead. Do it. I'm not going to hold you back, man.
This match is going to break my heart.
How so?
I think the Bucks are going to go heel. Mm-hmm. I really do. I do. And I hate it. But I love it. But I hate it. But I love it. It's like, it's one of those things.
Are they going to heel on Omega or they're just Page?
I think they're going heel on Omega. I'm surprised that it didn't happen during the Iron Man match. When they were out there and Paige wasn't, I was like, oh shit, here it comes. But it didn't. I was pleasantly surprised there. But after that comment that Nick made in that interview,
the Bucks are jackasses. They really are. They've been complete and utter
so
jackasses the whole way through. I mean, look, the whole Adam Page story has been absolute platinum. It's been S tier level stuff. It's been amazing. Page has been, and here's another good thing about AEW. We were talking about how they're building a megastar all on their own with Darby Allin. Well, here they've taken Adam Page, who was flat as a pancake after All Out, and they've rehabilitated him into clearly one of their bigger stars.
Yeah.
The people are excited about it. They're chanting for him, and they're using him really well in the ring. And at first, when all this started a few months ago, Tim, I would have said, hey, you know what? Adam Page is turning heel, but they can't turn Adam Page heel anymore. They have to turn, if they're going to turn someone, they have to turn the Bucks, right, Tim?
Yeah.
I can honestly see it going either way. I mean, I expect this to be one of Page's best performances, much akin to his match with Kota Ibushi, I believe. Mm-hmm. He's going to fire on all cylinders tonight. I think that this whole idea of the Bucks turning heel hasn't hit me until right now, but I'd love to see it, and I want them. I think they should win. I think it should be in non-heel fashion. I think Page should turn on Omega, and have Omega versus Page be another big feud.
The only thing here that I can't wrap my head around is AEW at this point saying, yeah, let's make Adam Page a heel. That's the one thing that it just doesn't jive for me.
Because he's so over right now.
I mean, you can't. He's so goddamn over. People are chanting for him. Yeah. They're doing the cowboy shit chants. Yeah. They want him to drink beer with them. I mean, it'd be the hugest misstep and would devalue everything they've done so far with him.
Well, maybe he doesn't go heel, but maybe Omega costs them the match, and Page has a gripe with it.
Yeah. I can't imagine them not turning the Bucks heel after what they had Nick say to Adam during that interview.
Which was you were a jobber in Ring of Honor until
and we made you a star.
And we made you a star. Yeah. I wouldn't be all that surprised for the Bucks to turn heel. They were heels. They worked as heels a lot on when they were still working the indies. A lot. Yeah. And over the past few weeks, they've just been jackasses. I can't stand the Bucks. Adam Page is right. Like, he's right. You cannot not sympathize with the guy. These two other dudes are jackasses.
At first, I was very much in the camp of Page. Why won't Page just let Omega hang with his friends? But now with the whole I think I already know what the problem is. Oh, you were just a job in Ring of Honor. They even had on BTE. They even had Omega approach Hangman about the drinking.
Yep. No, I like what, and let's be honest, Tim, this match is going to rule.
Oh yeah,
this is going to be possibly the match of the night. It's hard to say because there's two other matches that I think could be match of the night, but this is going to be up there for sure.
Yeah.
So who we got? Who's winning this?
Bucks.
John? He's so torn. He's pick between. Who's your favorite kid, John?
My favorite kid? Oh yeah, right. That's how it feels. Bucks.
I think if the Bucks win too, but the only way that this will make any sense is if they turn heel. I want the Bucks to turn heel.
Yeah.
I want to hate the Young Bucks so bad now. They've just been awful to Adam Page. But I mean,
not just the comment about the ROH jobber thing, but when JR said, "You're the tag team that I believe is the best in the world," and they emphatically agreed with him in front of Kenny, they like, what dicks?
Yeah, no, they're dicks. They are. They're absolutely awful.
It's right the whole time.
All right, let's move on. MJF versus Cody. Well, I mean, this is their equivalent of Hulk Hogan versus Randy Savage, right? Early on, as far as storyline goes, this is huge. Tim, I'm gonna send it off to you on this note here. When they did the MJF turn, I thought it was too soon. I felt that they could have stretched it out a little more, keep doing the babyface thing. I felt they pulled the trigger on it too early, and I'm glad they're proving me wrong.
I will have to agree with that sentiment, sir.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, it kind of felt too early, but they are proving us wrong. This is another one that might be match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Cody's going to come out and just whoop MJF's ass. But
that's essentially what we're looking forward to, yeah.
Something's going to happen to where MJF wins.
Mm-hmm.
MJF is going to get the last laugh.
You think so? Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking Wardlow gets involved.
Yeah, but Arn Anderson is likely going to be there too.
Yeah. Arn Anderson's going to hit a big old spine buster on Wardlow.
Oof.
Spine on the pond, baby.
Let's talk about MJF a little bit. I've for a long time I've had not mixed feelings, but I've always enjoyed his heel work. And, I've mentioned this many, many times on my show. A lot of people would say he's the best heel in the business. And I think he's a great heel, but he's the kind of heel that you were always looking forward to hearing and listening, whatever witty quips he was going to pull out to insult the audience, whatever. There was always something like, I'm looking forward to seeing this guy be a jackass. But to me, a great heel does the opposite, where you're like, I hate this guy so much, I want to see his ass get beat. And I never got that with MJF. John, over the past few months, MJF has transitioned so well from being the quippy, witty, one-liner guy to a really awful person.
Being the guy that you want to see Cody murder.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Cody, with that whole "you can't touch me" clause, Cody has been chomping at the bit to get his hands on MJF.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And if you look at what MJF has done during his time with MLW, running the Dynasty, that group has, I think, done a lot, or running that group has done a lot to help him try stuff out and then bring that to Dynamite.
Yes, I agree.
You know what I mean? It's good that he has that place to try shit and see if it goes over or not.
What I'm looking forward here the most, and I think as far as this match is going to go, this is going to be your storytelling match of the evening. Yeah. And Tim, Cody has shown us with every AEW pay-per-view that he is a master storyteller. He's not a work rate master. He's not the guy who is going to pull out incredible moves and give us 6 minutes of intense chain wrestling or crazy ass spot over spot. He's a storyteller. He's an in-ring storyteller, Tim, and he's got the most quintessential and beautiful wrestling story in the palm of his hand right now. I think we're going to get all the feelings. I really think we are.
he doesn't have to be the greatest at work rate. He doesn't have to be any of those things. Cody has. I was talking to John earlier this week. Out of all of the wrestlers who have left the machine, I think, and you could make an argument for Moxley or Pac, but Cody is the one who has benefited the most.
Oh, I agree.
Cody has found himself truly as a wrestler. And like you said, the storytelling aspect, his promos ever since starting AEW have been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can tell when he has a hand in directing other people's promos.
Right. I just think, like you were saying, he doesn't have to be all of those things. He's already a top babyface, and he's fantastic.
Yeah, he really, really is. So who's winning this one?
MJF.
John, what do you think?
I'm gonna have to go MJF as well, because I think Cody getting that big win on Wardlow, I think this is when they deliver the knockout blow to the audience.
I think MJF is going to win as well, and it's going to be a lot cleaner than a lot of people might think.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a real clean win, and people are going to be shocked. And they have to do this. Look, Cody will be fine.
Cody will be fine. Oh, Cody will be fine.
They need to make a monster heel, a guy. My body will be ready for the MJF promo on Wednesday, where all he's going to do for 10 minutes is gloat on the fact that he beat Cody.
I want to ask you something.
Sure.
Do you think that there is enough security detail? Do you think that there is enough structural integrity in the Wintrust Center to be able to handle if MJF hits his version of the Crossroads on Cody Rhodes?
Yeah, if only it'd be great if people got real mad about it, because honestly, like I've said it before and I'll say it again.
MJF might not make it out of Chicago.
I think Jay White is the best heel in wrestling right now, because he wins matches and people file out of the building because they're mad.
Yeah.
I don't think this will be exactly it, but I hope they cut to the audience and show people crying.
They need to have the angry Miz Girl moment.
Yes, they need the angry Miz Girl moment, but less cartoonish.
Yeah,
a little less cartoonish. But I mean, because there's just so much. There's so much invested in this. There's a lot. What's that?
I think Cody's mom. I hope Cody's mom is there.
Yeah. Look, I'm looking forward to it. The only thing that I'm hoping, and this is the tiny little nitpick that I'm hoping, I hope the ending isn't too overbooked, because Cody matches have a tendency to just have these wacky cuckoo people coming in from everywhere kind of situation. Right. Whereas, but then again, I think back to him versus Dustin, and it was just the two of them from start to finish. If they go down that route, maybe outside of some Arn Anderson Wardlow action, I just hope they tone down on the shenanigans and give us a satisfying conclusion to this.
Yeah, don't bring out don't bring out Dustin, don't bring out
Brandy, Bucks. No, we don't need that. Main event, the Painmaker, the Champion, Christopher Jericho, AEW World Champion, versus Jonathan Moxelworth. This is another one that they've been drilling home for quite a while, and I think picked up enormous speed since January. Yeah. John, I'm going to send this to you to begin with. I mean, this feels like a main event. It's two incredible main event guys. This is your very definition of what a main event should feel like.
Yeah, dude, and that crowd is going to be so ready for this match to start. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When Moxley's walking through that crowd, it is going to be so loud.
Yeah.
And when Jericho's music hits, that whole crowd is going to sing along, even though he's a heel, because it's just a good fucking song.
Oh, can I say something? I don't know the lyrics because
I do.
I don't think Fozzie's that good a band. I don't
either. I don't.
They have
really,
some good songs,
but I like Judas. Judas is a good song.
Maybe it's because I you know I've heard it too much, or I don't know. Maybe I feel it's overblown because it's Chris Jericho. Anywho,
right.
But yes, I mean, if they want to sing along, all the more power to them.
Right. Moxley's got to win.
You think so?
Has to win. That has to be what this is leading to.
What do you think, Tim?
I also agree. I think Moxley has to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't win.
Yeah.
It could go either way, but I'm going with Moxley.
Yeah.
I would like to point out that these two had a feud in another company, and no one really gave a shit.
Mm-hmm.
No, but Moxley's finally getting revenge for Mitch the Plant.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. But with AEW, it matters. This is a big fight feel. I just think that's hilarious. I
just thought of something.
Go ahead.
I think Moxley walks out there, rips that eye patch off and throws it, and sells that his eye's healed and he's fine. And that helps him get the upper hand early.
Sure. I mean, depth perception can be everything in a match. I honestly kind of hope that they do some kind of
little tidbit of storytelling could be so good.
Sure. I kind of hope they do some kind of reference to Mitch the Plant, though. Like at some point, someone has a potted fern, and they just without being overt about it. Jericho's done this in his matches where he's in his promos where he's referenced old WWE stuff. I think it'd just be satisfying. Tim, I think one of the reasons why this works so well is because Jon Moxley has had. I think because on one hand, yes, he's been exceptionally well booked in AEW, but I think the New Japan stuff has also helped out. I think there is a lot of crossover between AEW fans and New Japan. And I think it's and I think Tim, I think that also helps this match as well.
I agree, absolutely. To talk about the crossover, when he recently went back over to New Japan, he had the eye patch on.
Sure.
So I think that leaving the big machine, he has self-revolutionized himself, and that's what we're getting to here. I think that Jericho is this is outside of the kayfabe world. I think that Jericho is going on tour with Fozzy soon, and I think he's done a lot as a champion for AEW.
Sure.
So that's another reason why I'm going with Moxley.
Yeah, I'd say he can now confidently pass that title on to someone else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like you said about the crossover, every time Jericho's over there in New Japan, the commentary openly talks about his run as Le Champion.
Mm-hmm.
The last time at Wrestle Kingdom, he came out with the AEW title.
Sure.
That led many to speculate on the possible working relationship, which I hope still happens one day.
Sure.
Because my God, do I need Suzuki in an AEW ring? I think Moxley has done enough to prove that he can wrestle without barbed wire.
Yeah. Yes. Or mustard, squirting mustard on people.
But if he wants to use barbed wire, Jericho's not afraid to.
No.
You know what I mean? So whatever this match is going to be, I think it's going to be awesome. And I think that the referee needs to be lenient with DQs in this match, because there's going to be items used for sure.
I think the first DQ in AEW happened during the Iron
during
Man
that
match.
Iron Man match. Yeah,
that was the first one, and they've had plenty of opportunities to do other DQs. Over
I think Moxley. I need Moxley to win and spray a bottle of champagne all over Jericho.
So you've got Moxley winning here. Tim, what do you think?
Moxley.
I'm gonna go with Jericho. I'm going out on a limb here. I think there's more gas to this one here.
You don't want this crowd to go home happy. That's what it is.
They'll go home. No, I don't. I don't.
No matter what happens,
I secretly hate AEW fans. Bunch of marks. God damn it. No, but I still think there's more gas to Chris Jericho as champion. Of course, the next pay-per-view is like in 3 months, and I think there's, if they do things properly, I think Jon Moxley versus MJF could be their next big money feud. And they could build it down the road in 3 months, and whether it's for a title or not, I think the title would be a good idea. But I don't know, man. I'm still feeling it with Chris Jericho. It's still working. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But some final thoughts, guys. This card is going to rule. I think it's hard to be. It's difficult to not be optimistic, Tim, regarding this card.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to tonight. It's going to be great, and we will be reviewing it on our channel immediately following.
There you go. Give all your plugs. Do it. Make it happen.
Immediately following the pay-per-view, we will be reviewing it at youtube.com/Armbar Audio. Yeah, it's going to be a great show. First of the decade for AEW, and they're coming out swinging.
How?
Yeah.
So where else outside of YouTube? Where else can the good folks find you guys?
Well, I just want to give a quick final thought here first. Even if you're not in the arena, every AEW pay-per-view feels like a party.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. And no matter what happens tonight, that crowd is going to go home elated that they just saw the night of wrestling that they're going to see.
I agree.
Now, as for where you can find us on Twitter at Armbar Audio. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. All as Armbar Audio.
So follow them everywhere, basically.
All the places.
All the places.
Right now, we love talking to you.
We're just operating out of YouTube, but hopefully in the coming months, we will be able to format Armbar Audio into just audio and become a podcast again.
There you go. Well, you guys do really good work. You work hard, and you have fun takes on wrestling. You're great fans of wrestling, and we like to have great fans of wrestling here on the Mr. Warren Hayes Show. So thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
That was fantastic. We had a good time recapping, and look, Aew Revolution is going to rule. I really do think it is. I can't see anything sucking here. I hope you guys have a good time watching, and I hope you had a good time listening to us talk about it this morning. So thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time.